Candidates from both parties are throwing fresh jabs at Donald Trump on the eve of Super Tuesday. Hear what they had to say about the GOP frontrunner.
Truck drivers gathered at the Port of LA this morning for a rally. Find out what had them up bright and early.
And the USC women's swim and diving team are the Pac-12 champions. We'll talk live with one of the winning divers.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Tomorrow is one of the biggest days in the race for the White House. Candidates are crisscrossing the country to shore up votes. In many of the rallies, the candidates are attacking GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. Good evening, I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Daniel Tran. On this Super Tuesday Eve, all of the major candidates are stepping up their campaigns to make a final push for votes. 10 states will be holding primaries for both parties. Democrats in Colorado and American Samoa will also be voting, and Republicans in Alaska will hold caucuses. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump was in Virginia today defending himself from attacks by two of his main rivals.
I have to listen to a little guy like Rubio say, oh, he's a con man. He's a con man. Now think of it. No, but it's so insulting. And he had no choice. I guess he had to come up with something because he's getting creamed in the polls.
Rubio was campaigning in Georgia and Tennessee trying to stop Trump from running away with a Republican nomination.
Issue after issue, what he's saying to people isn't true. It doesn't match his record. And yet somehow it's gotten to this point. It's gotten too far. It's called a con job. And we are not going to allow a con artist to take control of the party of Lincoln and Reagan.
Ted Cruz was in his home state of Texas attacking both Rubio and Trump for their support of the 2013 immigration reform bill. That legislation would provide a pathway to citizenship for some undocumented immigrants.
Where was Donald in the Gang of Eight? Well, not only was he nowhere to be found, Donald Trump was funding the Gang of Eight.
A strong showing on Super Tuesday may put one of these candidates in the driver's seat for the rest of the primary. The top three GOP contenders will do battle for 661 delegates.
Now on to the Democratic side. Once again, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will face off against Senator Bernie Sanders. According to the latest CNN national poll, Clinton leads Sanders 55% to 38%.
You know, America never stopped being great. We need to make America whole again. And the way we will do that is to break down all the barriers that stand in the way of America living up to its potential and every single American living up to his or hers.
Tonight, Clinton will campaign in Virginia. She'll spend tomorrow night in Florida. Her rival Bernie Sanders has been firing up crowds about immigration reform.
Congress does not do its job, I will use the executive powers of the president to do everything that I can. Our job as a nation is to unite families, not divide families.
Since Saturday, Sanders has been looking for votes in Texas, Minnesota, Oklahoma, and Colorado. Tonight, he heads to his home state of Vermont, where he can vote for himself. According to a recent Wall Street Journal poll, Clinton leads Sanders by about 2-1 in Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas. We'll be sure to bring you all the latest tomorrow as the numbers come in. Back to you, Daniel.
Thanks, Priscilla. We have breaking news. A car chase is going on right now on the I-5 South. Police are pursuing a potential carjacking suspect in a gray Hummer that began in the Buena Park area. It is not confirmed, but the CHP are reporting there may be a woman and 2 children in the Hummer with a carjacking suspect. We'll continue to monitor this breaking news story and bring you any new information as we get it. The driver stopped at several red lights and tried to make a turn. Police say they think the driver may be headed to a specific place. A federal judge ruled this afternoon that the FBI cannot force Apple to unlock an iPhone connected to a Brooklyn, New York drug bust. U.S. Magistrate Judge James Ornstein's decision bolsters Apple's fight in California. The tech company has refused a government order to open the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino shooters. Today's ruling comes a day before Apple and the FBI are to appear before a congressional hearing. Striking truck drivers at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach got support today from the Teamsters Union. Reporter Madison Paglia went to the port to find out why.
Truck drivers say unfair pay and job classification is what had them up bright and early this morning.
They have a lot of wage theft because they've been misclassified as independent contractors. They have all the responsibility for running the boss's business, but they really don't share in the profits.
Fred Potter is the Teamsters vice president. He said employers like Pacific 9 Transportation and Expo have failed to follow federal and state laws that classify port drivers as employees.
We feel they're lawbreakers, and the men want to come out here and show the company that they want to be paid and they want to be treated with respect.
Harbor Trucking Association oversees the companies that employ these drivers. The association believes drivers have a choice. In a statement, they said, drivers who are not happy with their current situation have ample opportunity to seek the type of work classification and opportunity they desire with another company. The HTA does not support one model over the other, but rather supports the freedom of choice for both companies and drivers. Drivers who work for the same companies as an independent contractor say they should receive the same benefits as the employees.
The law says that they're employees. We have the companies to recognize that. Then they can exercise their rights to join a union if that's what they choose to do.
Drivers say the National Labor Relations Board and Employment Development Department have said that they are employees and not independent contractors.
And also, there's been acknowledgement from other agencies like the EDD and the NLRB that have said that we are in fact employees, not independent contractors, as PAC-9 supposedly says we are, and other companies here working at the ports.
Truck drivers have been here protesting since July. Some of them have even lost their jobs over it.
Still, shipping terminals have remained open, and it is unclear when drivers, the Teamster Union, and the trucking companies will reach an agreement. For Annenberg Media, I'm Madison Paglia.
If you've ever been stuck in traffic on the 134 freeway, Metro is trying to help you out. A new bus that runs from North Hollywood to Pasadena will begin its route tomorrow. Annenberg Media's Sonica Bargo breaks down the expansion.
Applause all around today at the unveiling of Metro's new bus line. The 501 route now connects North Hollywood and Pasadena using the carpool lanes on the 134 freeway. The expansion is part of an effort to reduce traffic in Los Angeles.
Less traffic means more time doing what we care about. That means that woman working 2 jobs can get a little bit more sleep. It means that college student can get back to his or her studies instead of sitting in traffic. It means that all of us can have a more productive and a more satisfying life.
Plans for the North Hollywood-Pasadena Express have been in the works for the last 5 years. The biggest challenge was finding a source of funding.
The availability of a particular funding source because of a freeway widening project on the I-5, that was the real sort of last piece of the puzzle.
The 501 bus line is expected to cost $1.2 million to operate. After 6 months, Metro will evaluate the project and determine if any changes need to be made.
The best case scenario is it's made a permanent addition to the bus network, which we're confident will happen.
North Hollywood residents we talked to are supportive of the new bus route.
The city can always use another bus line to get to a different place, and it's about time they made one going that direction.
I think it's very environmental friendly, and it's always good to use public transportation.
The bus route is not the only change Metro is making. Both the Gold Line and the Expo Line will also be expanded in the next few months. For Annenberg Media, I'm Sonica Bargo.
LA city leaders discussed the future of transportation in California at an LA Times event this morning. Irby is just one energy-saving idea being discussed. It's a foldable electric vehicle that goes 20 miles on a single charge and weighs just 35 pounds. Self-driving cars, traffic problems, and infrastructure were also on the agenda. Mayor Garcetti discussed these and other transportation issues in LA with journalists and policymakers.
Justice Clarence Thomas asked a question today in a Supreme Court session for the first time in 10 years. The justices were hearing appeals from 2 men claiming their guilty pleas for domestic abuse should not disqualify them from owning guns. Thomas asked several questions during oral arguments. This comes just 2 weeks after the death of his close friend and fellow Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. A new report shows that nearly a dozen anti-Muslim hate crimes were reported in November and December last year in Los Angeles County. There was only 1 case in that same period of time in 2014. The LA County Commission on Human Relations conducted this analysis after the terrorist attacks in Paris and San Bernardino.
Reverend James Stern is calling on local and state authorities to prosecute the Ku Klux Klan after a rally in Anaheim over the weekend turned violent. 3 people were stabbed when Klan members and counter-protesters clashed. Reporter Claudia Buccio is live at a rally getting started in Beverly Hills.
Hi, I'm standing here in Cafe Roma in Beverly Hills, and we're getting ready to see how the news conference held by Reverend Stern, who is actually right here next to me, sets up his press conference to see how we can combat racial inequality and stop the violence. I had the opportunity of speaking earlier with Lieutenant Shakir, and he commented that this outburst of violence is just unacceptable. So the best idea is to find a solution to promote racial equality. Right now, as I talk, they're setting up the stage for him to speak. And after the rally occurred on Saturday in Anaheim, after that bloody rally, definitely something has to be done. And this is the whole goal of everyone who is gathering here. People are still coming in. There's not much yet. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, there will be, as I mentioned, the press conference taking place. And people are very engaged with the idea that unity will be the solution. So as long as people fight together for a peaceful cause, that will definitely create the best alternative for this situation. Well, I think that's all I have for now, but we will send back to Annenberg Media. I'm Claudia Buccio. Take it back.
UCLA researchers say thousands of seniors can't access proper health care. Find out what the true cost for many of living in Los Angeles.
Civil rights leaders are still protesting last night's Oscars, calling for more diversity in Hollywood. Hear what they are planning for the Oscars next year if their demands aren't met.
And for a change of taste, our Veronica Quesada takes us to a Guadalajaran restaurant. A treat coming up.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man, women 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Civil rights leaders gathered in Beverly Hills today to make their voices heard about diversity at the Academy Awards.
When you're talking about ratings, 6% is huge. That is a huge, huge drop. And the ratings drop, by the way, was the lowest in almost 10 years, a decade. So literally, as we said, literally millions of people tuned out. Question is, will they tune back in? There's only one reason to tune back in. Hollywood's got to change.
Last night's Oscars broadcast had the lowest viewership since 2008. Variety reported the ratings decline wasn't due to one single factor, but activists still took it as a victory. The civil rights leaders say they will target the sponsors of next year's Academy Awards with similar boycotts if steps are not taken to increase diversity in Hollywood.
Could the Oscar-winning film Spotlight inspire others to pursue investigative journalism as a career? It's a question we posed to Annenberg professor Judy Muller.
And this movie, Spotlight, really reminds us of how important journalism is to a democracy that thrives, to unearthing the corruption underneath the rock. And the last time a movie like this about journalism had such impact was during Watergate. And after that movie aired, journalism enrollments at schools went way up.
Spotlight earned 6 nominations and 2 Oscars. Thanks to the Pulitzer Prize-winning team of reporters and Academy Award-winning film, the Boston Globe partnered with other media companies to launch a $100,000 investigative journalism fellowship called Spotlight.
Well, it's been such a beautiful day today. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. I hope it really stays like this all week.
Yeah, me too. Let's go to our weather anchor, Veronica Quesada, to find out more. Veronica?
Well, it was a nice day today. We've actually had a really good month. It's been hot, and that's actually because February is now the hottest month we have on record, but I do have some good news for you because it will stay like this for the most part. It is going to get a little bit more cloudy throughout this week, but first let's take a look at the current conditions. Right now we are at 62 degrees with 0 miles per hour. We have fair skies. Taking a look at tomorrow's temperatures, we have 67 up in Big Bear, hot to go skiing, 87 down in Riverside. Now moving back up to the north, we have 82 in Simi Valley, 74 down in Malibu by the coast. Now if we come back down to USC, we have 78 that we're going to have tomorrow, a warm campus tomorrow. Looking ahead at the 5-day forecast, the temperature is going to start cooling off. We're going to have 70 degrees by Saturday. We might see a little bit of rain over the weekend. And now for this week's episode of Venture with Veronica, I decided to show you a restaurant that takes traditional food from Guadalajara, Mexico, and it's only 20 minutes away from USC. People come to La Minerva restaurant to eat food from Guadalajara, but the Pico Rivera restaurant has started to bring in a younger generation that wants to explore a new culture.
Really very authentic. I've never been to what I know to be a Jaliscan restaurant before, so it was really cool, and everything was in Spanish and it felt very authentic and traditional.
Plax, like many others who visit the restaurant, decided to try something new.
Almost like a steak soup, but or it was beef and wasn't necessarily steak, and it was just really yummy and savory, and it came with rice and beans.
She's talking about birria. It's a traditional dish for parties like quinceañeras and weddings. Other customers stick to the more familiar fried tacos.
I had tacos dorados con carnitas. They were really good. I kind of wish that I ordered the carne en su jugo because that was awesome.
Carne en su jugo is meat in its own broth. It is topped with beans and bacon and paired with handmade tortillas. For dessert, you can treat yourself to the traditional dessert of Guadalajara, a Mexican custard called jericaya. La Minerva restaurant is on Telegraph Road inside the Pico Rivera Center. So are you guys hungry now?
Absolutely. Everything looks delicious. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Researchers at UCLA identified 750,000 seniors who can't access proper health care. Dubbed the hidden poor, researchers say these seniors are ignored by the official poverty line.
So the overall goal of all my research is to improve health equity, so to take older adults who are suffering disproportionate levels of ill health, who don't have adequate access to health care, and provide information that helps policymakers improve public policies.
The UCLA Center for Health Policy Research announced their findings today. Researchers say seniors below the poverty line have access to assistance like welfare and other programs. Seniors slightly above the poverty line don't have this access and are twice as likely to be in poor health. The center hopes this information will lead to better care for these older citizens.
The stock market dropped across the board today. The Dow fell 123 points to 16,517, while the Nasdaq dropped to 4,558, down 33 points from yesterday.
Okay, speaking of big trends, I'm hearing some things of our USC sports teams are hot right now.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that we have been killing it in the water lately. Randall, are we about to have a sports cast of just ladies?
Well, Dan, we did manage to get some of the fellas in here somewhere, but the ladies will definitely be running the show. Coming up, we will be giving you the first women's rowing update of the season. I'll catch you up on the diamond as we dig into some baseball, and I'll also be live in the studio with one of the new Pac-12 champs on campus. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today? Let's go, Pearly Whites, man. Yeah. The boys, check it out. Stand up, do my chair is gonna compare us.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Welcome to ATV in Sports. We have a lot of action with the winning ladies in the water. Joining me is one of our new Pac-12 swimming and diving champions, Natalie Caliban. Natalie, thanks for joining us.
Randall, thank you for having me. It feels great to be here.
Natalie, Pac-12 champions, like what does that mean to you and your team?
Randall, it's absolutely incredible. Since the beginning of that last week when we headed to Seattle, this team, we wanted it. You know, we had that increased depth, that amazing banner freshman class coming in. We knew that if we were going to win it, it was going to be this year.
What were some of those toughest moments? Because it's not easy to win the Pac-12, you know, and you're in a competitive conference. Like what was that journey like getting to this point?
Absolutely. I mean, diving is seen as more of an individual sport, but in college, it's absolutely not individual. It takes every single person on that team, swimmers, divers, freshmen to seniors, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but it has been an incredible journey. Absolutely.
You as a senior, I mean, this is your first one. And like, how does it feel to have all that hard work kind of leading up to this point? Like, I mean, what was that feeling when you finally said, okay, I finally got my career ended on a good note?
Randall, it feels great. You know, our freshman year, we were supposed to win, and we ended up battling for second and third against Cal and Stanford, of course, and just keeping the motivation high each year, and just that freshman class coming in, it was really impressive, and I had to be a leader for our freshman divers and even the freshman swimmers, and we came together and just put on that performance, and we were all hungry. We wanted it, and we got it, so it feels good.
Was there ever like a turning point where you knew? Was there a moment where you knew I think we can pull this off this year? Because I mean, you went through 3 years of not getting. Was there ever a moment where it was like, okay, I think we're going to get it?
I definitely think over that week of Pac-12s, you know, that especially Thursday, Friday night, those were some turning points for us. Absolutely.
Wow. So I mean, once again, Natalie, thank you for joining us and being here. I know it's a great moment for you in your senior year. I want you to enjoy it. So I'm not going to hold you up too long, but thank you again for coming and joining us in the studio.
Thanks for having me, Randall.
Guys, I mean, there must be something in the water. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
Oh.
What happened? Something?
Yeah, I think it's great, man. I've been to a couple games, and they look like they're naturals out there. Absolutely.
Well, it's no secret that the Lady Trojans win in the water. Swimming has won the Pac-12, and women's water polo is undefeated and ranked #1 in the nation. Now women's rowing wants in on the action. The ladies just won their season opener, sweeping San Diego State.
It was a good morning. You know, we got there and we went out, did our best, did what we love most, and came back in with winning all 4 boats. We're starting off a new week now, and I mean, I think that's a really good start to the rest of the season.
The Lady Trojans rowing team is hoping to keep up their winning ways as they go back to training. They'll be back in action for the San Diego Crew Classic on April 2nd through the 3rd. The 6th-ranked USC men's golf team is at the Southwestern Jones Invitational today. The Trojans are hoping to rain on the host parade as they look to upset the host Pepperdine. And keep pulling away and hold off the rest of the field through tomorrow. The Trojans are at home. The Trojans will be at home and see if they are the best in the Southwest. After they finish today, the Jones Invitational continues in Westlake Village all day tomorrow and will finish up tomorrow evening.
Well, today is Leap Day and everyone got an extra 24 hours.
Yeah, but do students enjoy this extra day? Find out more.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
This Leap Day is winding down. Some people like the extra 24 hours, but not everyone does. We asked students and faculty how they feel about Leap Day.
It's her birthday today, so I think she's 5 years old. It's a good age.
I want more days of election coverage. Yeah, that's what I want.
No.
It's a pretty boring month, so you gotta like spice it up with Leap Day every 4 years.
February is an awful month.
Right.
Let's shorten February more.
Yeah.
And make every other month have 31 days.
I like it.
Good thing here in Southern California, we don't have to worry about suffering through another day in the frigid cold. An extra day of perfect weather never hurts. Sorry, East Coast. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Daniel Tran.
And I'm Priscilla Casper. You can watch us on the web